Guys, just from Hell's Headbangers back here again, aka J-dawg, and today's video is going to be about answering some goddamn questions on the fucking video I put up about working out, the Get Jacked and Stacked series with J-dawg of Hell's Headbangers. So I saw some of the comments in there, a couple more I responded to already, and a few of them I was like, you know what, instead of just typing up all this shit, I was like, I'll just make a goddamn fucking video and answer your questions right here. So I'll just pull them right up on my phone and read them and answer them for you. So that way, get shout out and all. So, first one we got here is from NP. Not sure what that stands for, but thanks for the comment, man. It says, cool, you made a video on the topic. I'd be interested to hear how/why you got into bodybuilding. Maybe it might inspire more metalheads to get into it. Yeah, actually, good question, man, because actually that would be cool if more metalheads could get into it. As far as how, why, I mean, can't say exactly why. I could just say that growing up as a kid, I always liked movies by like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. As a really young kid, I liked like the WWF wrestling. That was really really young, like maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I really liked that. And it's ironic, funny enough, like my favorite guy of wrestling at that time was the Ultimate Warrior, and primarily just because if you look at him, it's funny because a lot of guys think like all the rest, oh, they're so jacked and so big and stuff like that. Most of them look like, from a physique perspective, most of them look like shit. They don't even have visible abs for the most part, most of them. But the Ultimate Warrior was actually, had a great physique, and it actually looked like a bodybuilder, and that's because if you know anything about him, he actually was a bodybuilder prior to wrestling. Well, he never made it pro, but he was an amateur bodybuilder. He did compete and do shows. He had a really good physique in like the '80s and stuff. So and he just transitioned into wrestling. You can go look up the whole story. I don't remember the whole thing is, but actually, a funny story about him too is I actually never met him, but I've talked to him on the phone for like a couple of hours. When I first started getting into training, maybe probably about 3 years in, I still basically didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and he was offering some type of service. I forget what it was, but basically, kind of like he was selling some type of package. I don't remember what it was. This was, and basically, I bought it, and so PayPal and whatever he sent, he got some package in the mail. It was like a fucking booklet of like a manual type stuff and some photos, like a signed photo, and then you got a phone call with him, and it was a really really cool call. Really cool guy. He's basically very much like what you'd see in the videos of how he was later on. Just very, very intense personality. Like he just had a lot of hard to explain, but just like intensity behind him, just with everything he did. So that was my interaction with him. But as far as why, yeah, like I said, I maybe just idolizing those physiques. And when I started training I was like, I was either 21 or 22 years old. So that would have been in 21. I think it was 21 when I first just started. That would have been 2006. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2006, 2005, somewhere around there. Um, I just, I've always idolized those physiques and thought it looked cool. And fucking, why the hell not? Why be a skinny guy? Why be a fat ass if you don't have to be, right? And but like I said, my only thing I go off of the physique wise is like I thought, Arnold, in the early days looked badass. Stallone looked good, and fucking like the later Rockies, because they actually, if you look at like Rocky 1 or Rocky 2, he doesn't even look like he basically works out. It's not until like the third one that he starts to look like he trains. And Rambo 2, yeah, he looks good in Rambo 2 and Rambo 3. But the first Rambo 2, same thing. He just kind of looks like just a general guy, maybe just exercises here and there for health and fitness, but definitely didn't have any physique of any notability whatsoever. But so yeah, I guess that would be kind of the start of why I what inspired it, and then definitely what kind of like changed my view of that to really pursue uh just I guess bodybuilding training, because at first it was just kind of like I just want to put on some muscle. Let's do some curls. Let's do some fucking shoulder presses. Didn't know anything. Do some push-ups, because at first I was just training at home too, so I didn't even have a bench. So I just had some dumbbells and maybe a barbell. So I just did seated shoulder presses, curls, maybe some tricep shit, and not much. Maybe some crunches and stuff for abs, push-ups. Um, and then so around that time, YouTube was pretty new. At least it was new to me. That's when I found out about it. And I remember searching for like an arm routine or something. And the first pro bodybuilder I ever seen, obviously with the exception of Arnold, because Arnold was a pro bodybuilder. For those of you that don't know, he was a pro in the 70s. So he retired. His last show he did was 1980 before he went over to go to do movies. But outside of him, because that was obviously a really old era and things are much different. I saw a video by an arm workout with Kevin Levrone, and that was the first like kind of modern pro. Even though he was already retired by then, he retired in the early 2000s. But it was an early video when he just turned pro. I'm like, holy fuck! I was like, I never even seen anybody this goddamn big. Because it's funny, it's like unless you've actually seen competitive top IFBB pros, because a lot of people are, I'm a bodybuilder, you're like, bodybuilder, you're 180 pounds. What do you mean you're a bodybuilder? You fucking swimmer bodybuilder? Like, I don't understand. What do you mean bodybuilder? Like anyone can claim they're a bodybuilder if they just work out, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about like a true IFBB pro bodybuilder. Like they're like, if you've never seen it before, it's fucking freaky as fuck in person. I mean, if you see it in photos and stuff, it's cool. You're like, oh man, wow, these guys are really jacked. But it's even different when you see them in person. So my first thing was a video with Kevin, and I never seen anyone that big because like it's funny. People watch like football and shit like that. And like I said, the wrestling, everybody's like, oh, these guys are so jacked. These guys are so jacked. No, they're not. Like not at all. Actually, like the quarterback's generally skinny as fuck, and the other guys are just fat as fuck. That's what I see. I was like, being fat doesn't count as jacked. You need to have fucking abs and fucking muscle. You got to have size in it. So if you don't have abs, it means you're too fucking fat. And if you don't have any fucking size on you, you don't have any guy size. So you got to be like, you got to kind of be like, if you say you're jack territory, you got to kind of be like, if you're like average height, 5'10" or so, you got to kind of be 200 pounds minimum with abs. I mean, that's just my opinion. Maybe I have a skewed perspective because of all this, but anyway, so yeah, so seeing Kevin, that was a huge thing, and I was like, holy shit! And so I kind of knew it more from there because I thought it was really cool that a human being could look like that. And then from there, what really changed it was a couple years later, our landlord over at Hell's, where we have the warehouse at, he was into bodybuilding as well, and he actually he was a big fan of it, and he knew a guy named Dave Lieberman. He does this natural bodybuilding show, which is mean he's drug tested. I mean, supposedly, which whatever. Um, he puts on the show every first week of April and the first week of October, so twice a year. And our landlord knew the guy. He's like, hey, you want to? He saw that I was in the training and stuff like that. He liked bodybuilding as well and go to the gym. So you want to go to this show? I'm like, yeah, sure. And we went together. And like, if you ever go to a natural bodybuilding show, it's actually kind of fucking boring. Like, to be completely honest with you, natural bodybuilding is kind of like, unless you're like a fucking genetic super freak, you're not going to have any physique of that super impressive. Like you're never going to get to that level. So like, it's funny when some people will say like for the IFB pros, do these guys take steroids? No fucking shit, they take steroids. What the fuck do you think? Of course they take steroids. But you don't just take steroids and sit on the fucking couch and get big. It doesn't work that way. You got to fucking train your ass off and eat. And even then, most guys, I mean, I know tons of guys in my gym that take steroids and look like fucking shit. They don't even look like they work out. So it's not just this thing you take and you get big. So it's almost like people are trying to discredit their work. It's like it doesn't work like that, man. You still need the work ethic, the genetics, everything. So unless you like, but sometimes you'll see an all natural bodybuilder who's is legitimately all natural. 99% of the time, they're just fucking liars. Who's actually has a really good, pretty impressive physique, but that's rare. That means he's extremely genetically gifted. Yeah, he does train hard, eats right, and does everything right, but he's got an extreme fucking predisposition for good ass fucking genetics for building muscle. That's very, very, very fucking rare. You'll ever meet someone. I mean, we're talking when you hear 1 out of 1,000,000. It's not even 1 out of 1,000,000, guys. It's probably 1 out of 100 million. I mean, it's super fucking rare. Um, so when you go to a natural bodybuilding show, it's kind of like, yeah, this isn't very impressive. I see guys in my gym bigger than this, right? But what was really cool about the show is they'd have a guest poser. Every year they'd have a guest poser, which is always a top IFBB pro. And at this first show that I went to, it was Dennis Wolf. Look up Dennis Wolf if you don't know who that is. He's a German bodybuilder. He's retired now. And I got to meet him and see him guest pose. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you thought you knew how these guys looked? Because, like I said, seeing them in videos. And I was buying the magazines at that point, too. And it was just freaky as fuck, dude. It was like a whole other level. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? I want to try, to look like this. Now, as time goes by, you find out your dreams kind of come shattered. That, like I said, not everybody can do that. Again, no matter what you do, no matter what you take, you could fucking find all the steroids you want that they're taking, and you can triple it, and you're not going to look like that because there's a huge genetic component. Now you can always, not to like shatter any dreams or anything, to try to sway any of you guys from trying to work out anything. You could always, no matter how shitty of a physique you have, you can always get better, and be much better. But it's just try to be the best version of yourself. But sometimes when you look at these guys, and if that's really truly what you want to do, and like let's say you want to do for a living, sometimes it could be disappointing as you do it for years and you find out this just ain't gonna happen no matter what I do. So but anyways, that's kind of where what inspired it all was in a nutshell. Kind of probably a longer answer than expected, but that's when slash how why. And it's funny too, like I think kind of bodybuilding and metal go hand in hand because if you, like I said, if you ever see an actual pro bodybuilder go to a pro bodybuilding show, most of you guys that don't know anything about bodybuilding are probably like, this is fucking gay. Like it's a guy's posing on stage. Like, first of all, dude, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I don't get turned down by fucking men, so I don't care. How else you supposed to, that's how you judge the physique, man. Of course they're not gonna be wearing clothes and shit. You know what I mean? I mean, they're not, their dick ain't hanging out. They're in like a fucking, I don't even know what they're called, just posing trunks. So I could see why it looks gay. It's like, dude, I'm totally comfortable. I mean, it's bodybuilding. What it is it's an it's an art form, is what it is, an art of the physique. How fucking big can you get? How symmetrical? How lean? How just everything, that flows together. It's kind of like those old Greek statues. That's what they're trying to create on the human body. So what are you gonna do? Go in fucking baggy clothes on stage? How are you gonna judge that? You know what I mean? It's actually just because it's not based on how much weight you can lift. That's powerlifting. Some people are like, oh, you go to bodybuilding shows, how much they lift on stage. They don't even lift weights. They don't weigh them. They don't measure their arms. They don't do nothing. It's literally poses and then they decide who the winner is based off there's criteria. But like I said, they're trying to create, in a sense, a Greek statue. So, but what's cool about it, and what's you would think more people in metal would get into it, is it's a very fucking extreme sport or art form, whatever you want to consider it or call it. So and metal by nature is very extreme, so they kind of go hand in hand because, like I said, if you want to do bodybuilding, even if you don't have the genetics to go pro, like myself, you can still do it at the fullest level and just go as high as your genetics will allow you, right? It gets fucking intense, man. I mean, all the training, all the eating, all the recovering, the rest, everything, just the routine of it. And anyone could do it for one day. Anyone could do it for 1 week. Do it for week after week after week, month after month after month, year after year after year. Telling you, man, but the gym I've gone alone, I've seen well over 1,000 people come and go. Easily over 1,000 people. Where you see them one day, you never see them again. There's literally every single day I go to the gym, I see someone and I never see them again, ever. So yeah, try doing it for 15 fucking years straight. That's what I've been doing. So it's extreme, and I like that. I like the the extremity. I guess I'm attracted to kind of extreme things, right? So that's win while high. So kind of a long-winded answer, and that's kind of why I wanted to do a video on it because it's kind of like I said, typing all that up. So maybe I'll keep the other one. Didn't think it was gonna be that fucking long, so didn't want to bore you guys. I'll next one. Try to keep it a little quicker. From Henrik K. Says, great topic. I always felt there was a shortage of people seriously into training in the metal. Agreed. I've been lifting and fighting since '98, same as J-dawg. Not same as J-dawg, bro. You're older than I am. I was 13 in '98. That's when I started going to shows, but I didn't start training until, like I said, I was 20. I'm almost positive I was 21 when I started training. I didn't know anything, but so 21, yeah, about 05, 06. So yeah, you actually got me beat, bro. If you're still training from '98 and nonstop, like I said, week after week, not missing workouts, not missing meals, it's pretty fucking impressive. That's a long ass fucking time. Way more than the average person's gonna last, guaranteed. So my question is, how have you handled the drug culture in metal in your training? It's no secret that there is a lot of getting wasted on whatever's available in metal. Not the best compliment to hard training. That's definitely not. Yeah, guys. If you want to like build a great physique and shit, like going out and partying and stuff, that's not going to work. Because I mean, it was just New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, whatever the other day. If you did it for like that once in a blue moon, when I say once in a blue moon, we're talking maybe 3 times a year. Then it's not going to be a big deal. Yes, you can still build a fucking great physique, but if you're doing this shit on a regular basis, that's not going to work. Uh, I have my I have myself just went after it on both ends, just trying to limit all the damaging stuff so I won't get all fucked. Keep it to gigs and weekends and so forth. But I enjoy it too much to just let it be. I have average genetics at best, so there's no waste of talent anyway. Yeah, Henrik, you're absolutely right. If average genetic, you got to even way more diligent. If, like I said, average genetics like myself, average as shit. average as shit genetics, whatever, just a normal dude. That's what I have, probably like what he has. To answer your question, it wasn't hard for me at all, man. Actually, I never gotten into drinking and partying and stuff like that. Full disclosure, I mean, a lot of guys might laugh their ass off. I didn't have my first beer until I was 21 years old. And it's not because I'm some straight edge or anything like that or some goody two shoes. I never gave a shit. I didn't care. Like I was in a sense, like when I was doing all the show stories and stuff like that, going to shows with my brothers as a teenager, never did I even care. I had alcohol offered to me, weed, everything. I didn't, I had no interest, man. I was like high on life at the time, I guess you could say, which kind of sounds cheesy, but just to go to the shows, I was every show I remember going to, man. I was always super excited. I look forward to it all week, always, always. I was just, I fucking loved the shit, man. I loved going there. And the goal was always, especially if it was a band you haven't seen, was to meet the band, get a picture with them, get actual photos of the live show, buy whatever shirts they have. And if you're missing any CD or any merchandise they're selling, bought everything. Because like I said, we all work jobs and stuff. So I bought metal and then I put money in the savings. That's it. I didn't waste my money on stupid, silly shit. Not because I'm some fucking genius. It's just I had no interest in anything. Even at that time, I wasn't even interested in working out. I had nothing, and just lived at home, so didn't really have any bills. And so yeah, just that was I didn't have any interest. Like I remember like being at like Brian Baxter's shop and shit like that, and he would always offer like some weed or something. Even then, I I thought it smelled like shit. Wasn't interested. Hard drugs and shit like that. Like if you want to like cocaine, meth, heroin, that just never crossed my mind to do. I don't give a fuck if you do it. I honestly don't at all. Could care less. As long my mind on that shit is if you're not hurting anyone else, you're just doing it in your own personal space. You're not like fucking, you know, doing something that's going to alter your brain and getting in a car and fucking maybe killing someone else, or you're not beating your wife or your kids on it. You're just like, let's say you're a single guy and you're just fucking, you just like to shoot heroin before you go to bed. I mean, probably not the smartest thing to do, but I don't give a fuck. Do what you want. It's your body. Do what the hell the fuck you want. If you're not hurting anyone else, I could care less, and we could still be friends. I wouldn't even care. Wouldn't want you bringing it into my house, but I wouldn't care that you did it. But yeah. So for me, it was that when I got transitioned to working out, man, it didn't care. You know what I mean? The most I do now is, my wife and I will go out and have a few beers here and there. Uh, that's probably once a week at most. Sometimes not even that. And honestly, man, like for example, New Year's Eve. What we did for New Year's Eve was just me and my wife. We stayed home, hung out with our cats. We grabbed some beers, ordered a pizza. We sat there, and I'll tell you, dude, I literally had 4 beers, had a few slices of pizza, and went to bed. I was in bed at fucking 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. I was already fucking tired. It's not because I just like, yeah, I'm just not big into that. I mean, like me, like letting loose, like partying up, like holy fuck, I'm drinking hard is like, let's say it's like a 4th of July party or something, and we're at her like family's, and we're there all day from like, let's say we're there like 2 p.m. to fucking like 10 p.m. Let's say. So you're there for 8 hours. Let's say you crack open a beer at 2. I mean, that whole time, I might have like 8 or 9 beers over that 8 to 9 hours. That's me like getting loose and crazy. And even then, I'm not slammed at that point because it was over. I mean, if I was to slam 8 or 9 beers in 1 hour, you got to be fucking trash. Honestly, I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life. Yeah, no, I don't think I ever have. I mean, I've been drunk in my life, yeah, but never just pounding them and doing shots and getting all. I just never cared. So for it to transition to bodybuilding and that lifestyle, that part was easy, and it still is because like I can care. Like if someone was to say we're taking away all fucking party drugs and fucking all alcohol, I would not like. It's impossible to get. You can't even get it illegally. You can't even get on the black market. I'd be fine with that, man. My life would be the same. I wouldn't even really give a shit. To be honest, I actually kind of almost prefer it. Um, so yeah, not the best guy to answer on that. But as far as my advice, because that's probably not a very helpful answer for you. Oh yeah, just try to keep it to a minimum, bro. I mean, it's in the end of the day is what's more important to you, the goal or having fun. Try to have balance. Yeah, enjoy your life if you enjoyed a party and shit. Um, do this like have times like for example, if you're trying to diet down and get really lean, keep it to a minimum of that time. Have a set deadline. Say I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do a 12-week diet and I'm gonna cut out all fucking drinks and shit. I'm gonna do it just once every other week, not even once a week. Let's take a Saturday every other week, not this every week shit, because that kind of even then, especially if you're trying to get shredded, that's kind of gonna take its toll. Because I mean, again, if you're just J-dawg and you're drinking 4 beers once a week, yeah, that's probably you could get away with that. That's not that big of a deal. But if you're slamming a fucking 18 pack and eating God knows what and doing God knows else was what. Because what else can happen? Not only is that day fucked because of all the junk calories you just put in your next day, you're going to feel like fucking shit. So you're damn sure not going to go to the gym. You know damn well you're not going to be on your fucking diet in there because you're not going to feel like eating chicken and rice and probably clean foods. You're probably going to be more in the mood for just maybe whatever, some type of junk food that you're craving. So yeah, you're going to lose a lot of backtrack time. So my advice is to keep it to an absolute minimum. And a little thing I learned from a pro bodybuilder, Sergio Olivia, who's one of my favorite, Sergio Olivia Jr. His dad was Sergio Olivia, who competed with Arnold. He said something that actually went to heart in a video for me, and that is like when he's dieting and stuff. Is he said this recently, like last year or so, and I thought it was really cool, and I kind of implemented it, especially when it comes to diet time. And diet time for me will start this year, generally May. Uh, so yeah, is see as many days as you can do and be perfect as possible. Because long story short, what's going to happen is no matter who you are, you're not going to have, like, let's say you have a 12-week cut. You're not going to have from day one to day 12, you're 100% perfect. That's extremely unlikely. So what you do is, how many days can I go perfect? Perfect. I don't fuck up. I don't miss a meal. I don't miss a cardio session. I don't miss a training session. I miss nothing. I don't have a single cheat meal. Nothing that's not supposed to go to me. Nothing. The plan. I stick to the plan 100% every day. How many days in a row can I do that? And if, let's say, he goes 12 days or whatever, and then he finally falls off, has a cheat meal or misses a cardio session or whatever it is, falls off the plan in some way or how, okay, fine, it's fine. Do the rest of the day as best you can. And then the next day is starting over again. I did 12 days this last time. Let's go at least 13 days, go perfect. Try to beat it. You're almost kind of like playing a game with yourself. So maybe give that a shot because I found that helpful for myself. Like, because like what I did one diet was I just want to see how mentally strong I could be. So like it sounds like what your mental weakness is alcohol. My mental weakness is actually like pizza and ice cream, man. Like I fucking love that shit. I can eat pizza every single day. So what I did one diet was I was like, okay, well, so I'm going to get as shredded as possible, but I want to see how mentally strong I am too. So what I did, I was like, for this whole diet, I want to see as little amount of times I can eat pizza, preferably not once at all. And I literally went, the longest I went was 4 months, and I didn't have pizza once, not once. And keep in mind, that's my favorite fucking food. Maybe you're like, oh, that's not hard to do pizza. It's like, well, maybe you don't like it that much. That's fine. Find something you do. Like I'm saying, if it's for you, it's beer, it's candy, it's cookies, it's donuts, it's whatever the fuck it is, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever. Because trust me, you crave something that's not good for you. There's no fuck. Every single human being does. I promise you, you do. And try to go 4 months without it. So for you, for that, and to me, that's what I like about the sport too. Is it's not just the outer body, the shell, it's the mind as well. How strong can you be mentally? I like to be mentally strong. Personally, I pride myself on that, and I'm not saying that I'm the most mentally strong person in the world, not by any fucking means, but I try to, and that's one of the things I try to improve on. So that's my tip with you there, man. Like, so again, yeah, don't toss it all to the curb if you enjoy it because hey, you only live once, so you don't. I wouldn't say throw it away altogether. If you get pleasure out of doing that, I actually recommend you do it. But if your physique and training performance is important to you, you're just gonna have to keep it to a minimum. Like I said, I think at most try to keep it to every other week. That way, you go a whole week, you're perfect, and you're like, fuck yeah, you really got. And then you'll probably appreciate it more too, man, if you really think about it, because you really got something to look for. You're basically doing it twice a month. I think you'd be able to get away with that. I don't think that would affect your goals at all. Probably not at all. Um, so yeah, man, that's how I answer. So I just gonna answer two questions because this video is fucking dragging out. But any other questions, guys, leave them in the comments. And if it's stuff like this, I'm gonna be long winded. I'll make a fucking video like this, give you guys a fucking shout out, and just answer your questions in video. And like I said, keep it coming. You can just send me training questions or mental questions. Only two fucking things in this world I know anything about, so I like talking about it. So if you got questions, J-Dawg's got fucking answers. Well, hopefully, if I don't, I'll tell you I don't fucking know. And maybe I'll try to find out because it might be something I can learn from too. So keep those goddamn comments coming, guys, and spread the channel to everybody. Let everybody know. Like I said, aunties, uncles, fucking buddies, fucking your bros, your gals, anyone that you think be interested in this fucking content. Send them over. Tell them to leave a goddamn comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, preferably subscribe. If you don't want to, say fuck that guy. That's fine too. As long as you watch the goddamn thing and leave a fucking comment. That's all I ask over here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.